student, today my topic is crystal field theory. This theory used to describe the electronic structure of metal ion. I repeat, this theory used to describe the electronic structure of metal ion in ionic crystal and therefore called crystal field theory. It provides an approximate description of electronic energy level that determines the ultraviolet and visible spectra, which is used to describe the split in metal d orbital energy. For example, you have just studied in 11th class, d orbital have 5 orbital in it. So first one is dxy, second one is dyz, third one is dxz, fourth one is dx square y square, and fifth one is dz square. So they all have equal energy. So when they have equal energy, then they are called as degenerate. And when they have approached the ligands, so when the ligands approach to them, then they have repulsion and they have higher in energy and departed into or split into two parts. On the basis of orientation of lobes of 5 orbitals, these have been grouped into two sets. When they get attached to the ligand, they just experience the energy and they split into two parts. First part is Eg, that is axial orbital, and second part is T2g, that is non-axial orbital. So Eg composed of dx square y square and dz square, that is last two orbital, and T2g, that is non-axial orbital, it is composed of dxy, dyz and dxz, and this is known as doubly degenerate, this is known as triply degenerate because it is composed of 3 orbital. The starting 3 orbital is the triply degenerate and it is composed of T2g, and these 2 orbital are composed of Eg. In the crystal field splitting theory, in case of free metal ion, all 5 orbital have same energy, but when it take part in the complex formation, that is coordination formation, or when it get attached with the ligand, they get repelled by the field produced by the ligands. So the repulsion raises the energy of d orbital if the field produced by the ligand is symmetrical and ligand approaching to the central metal atom are at equal distance, the degeneracy is maintained. Means all the 5 orbital have same energy if the repulsion raises the energy of the d orbital. But actually d orbital have different shape. The lobe is different in all the 5 d orbital. They have different shape. So they do not experience symmetrical field. They cause difference in energy because the orbital lying in the direction of ligands will experience greater repulsion, which is lying in the direction of ligand. They get greater repulsion and have high energy. The orbital which lie away from the ligand, which are at the distance from the ligand, will have less energy, and those which have near to the ligand will have more energy. So in this situation, they split into two sets, Eg and T2g. The crystal field theory are of 3 types. First is octahedral, second is tetrahedral, square, and third is square planar. Octahedral, there is 6 ligand, tetrahedral, there is 4 ligand, and square planar is also have 4 ligands. Now in octahedral, Eg have greater energy as compared to T2g. This delta O is represented octahedral. O is for octahedral. It can be measured by ultraviolet visible spectrum. So here Eg have high energy as compared to T2g. So Eg is composed of dz square, dx square, y square, which have high energy. See the structure. In this, all the 5 d orbital have same energy, but when they come in contact with the ligand, because of the repulsion, they get higher energy. Eg get higher energy as compared to T2g, and they reside upside of this energy level, and in between the line is known as barycenter. So Eg is composed of these 2 orbital, and T2g composed to these 3 orbitals, they have low energy. In tetrahedral, the situation is reversed. All the 5 just d orbital have same energy, but when they get contact with the ligand, the T2G get in front of the ligand. So it has high energy in this case. All the 3 orbital have high energy and these 2 orbital have low energy, because in tetrahedral case, ligands are in front of T2G. In square planar obtained by octahedral by removing negative charge from the z-axis. So all the z orbital, that is dz square, dxz, dyz, all the z orbital, z component become more stable. So see in this figure, all the z orbital lie at the low energy level, and all the rather than the z orbital, they have high energy. For example, here Eg is again have high energy. These 2 orbital is split into 2 parts. Dz goes at the down, because all the negative charge get removed, so they become stable and they become they have low energy. So dx square, y square have high energy. These 2 lie in between, so they have next high energy, and these have very low energy. See, in a square planar, the lobe x square, y square point towards the ligand, have high energy. dxy lie between the ligand, hence it has next high energy. dx square lie out of the plane, but belt around the center of the orbital lie in the plane, so it has next highest energy. And dxz, dyz lie outside of the plane, so they have least energy. They are lie outside of the plane, so they have least energy. Now come to the importance of crystal field theory. It uses for estimation and deduction of the anion and cation qualitative analysis. EDTA determines the hardness of water by complexometry titration, use in attraction of gold and iron, silver, and purification of nickel, zirconium, titanium, use of catalyst, use as a catalyst, electroplating photography, use in the medicinal chemistry by use of the chelate therapy. Some coordination compound inhibit the growth of tumor, example cisplatin. Now my question is, just describe the crystal field theory and its important. Thank you.